Here are the executive orders that President Trump signed on his first day. 1. He declared a national emergency at the U.S.-Mexico border. 2. He reversed a Biden administration immigration policy that limited deportations to undocumented immigrants who had committed serious crimes. Under his order, any undocumented immigrant can be deported. 3. He signed an order seeking to end birthright citizenship.
Okay, so let me explain this whole US birthright citizenship situation, especially if you're thinking about moving or having kids in the US. It's kind of a big deal, eh? Right now, the way it works is pretty simple. If you're born in the US, you're automatically a US citizen. That's thanks to the 14th Amendment, which has been around since 1868. It doesn't matter if your parents are citizens, on visas, or even undocumented. If you're born there, you're in. But here's where it gets tricky. President Donald Trump signed an executive order trying to change that. Basically, he wants to make it so that babies born in the US don't automatically get citizenship unless at least one of their parents is a US citizen or a permanent resident. And get this, it wouldn't just apply to people there illegally. It could even affect kids of people legally in the US, like those on a work or student visas. If that sounds like a mess, it's because it is. Imagine this. Every baby born in the US would need proof that their parents are in the country legally before they could even get a birth certificate or citizenship documents. And let's be real, the paperwork and red tape that would create would be insane. Not just for immigrants, but for everyone. Now, can Donald Trump actually do this? Probably not, at least not through an executive order. Birthright citizenship is part of the Constitution, and changing that would take a constitutional amendment or a big Supreme Court decision. It's not something you can just sign into law overnight. But even if this order doesn't hold up in court, the fact that it's even being pushed is enough to make a lot of people nervous. It's creating fear for immigrants. Imagine being on a visa and not knowing if your child would even have a legal status if they're born in the US. And don't even get me started on the idea of restricting visas for pregnant travelers. At the end of the day, this is all part of a bigger push to make immigration harder, plain and simple. It doesn't actually solve anything, but it sure makes life more complicated for people trying to do things the right way.
Hi guys, and welcome to the Joy Report. If you're new here, karibu. If you're a channel subscriber, thank you so much for clicking. Today, we're going to talk about the order signed by Donald Trump after his inauguration on birthright citizenship. If this is the kind of content that you enjoy, please consider subscribing, share this video out to your friends, and also remember to like it. Now, before I get into my commentary, I would like to play a few more clips, and then when we get back, we'll go straight to discuss on this matter. Also, I would love to hear your opinions down in the comment section, so please go down there and let's keep the discussion going. So without further ado, guys, let's go straight into this video.
So the Trump era has begun. Let's take a look at some of the things that he's already said on day one. So he's officially signed an executive order to end birthright citizenship. Children that are born in the United States are entitled to citizenship under the 14th Amendment of the Constitution. But with this executive order, Trump is directly defying the Constitution. So why is he doing this? He is trying to punish parents who are undocumented. Essentially, if you're born here, you're entitled to citizenship. But if your parents are undocumented, Trump's goal is to deport the entire family. We've also heard that the administration is planning to stop issuing passports and Social Security cards to children born to undocumented parents. There are already many pro-immigration groups who are out there planning to file suit against Trump to stop this.
The swearing in of America's new president, Donald Trump. Here are some new immigration laws about the United States that you need to take note of. Number 1, effective February 19, 2025, the United States is ending automatic citizenship by birth. What that means is that any woman who gives birth to a child in the US and at that time they are unlawfully in the US, or perhaps they are lawfully in the US but they are temporarily living in the US, maybe on a study visa, work permit, visitor visa, and as at that same time the father of the child is not a US citizen or permanent resident.
Now, I'm sure a few of you have been able to watch the clip of him talking about this birthright order, but I would love for us to get a read, just a 1-minute read, on the order itself and what it said. If you go to whitehouse.gov, you'll be able to see this order there, but I'll take a minute and read it out loud to you guys. It says, It is the policy of the United States that no department or agency of the United States government shall issue documents recognizing United States citizenship or accept documents issued by state, local, or governments or authorities purporting to recognize United States citizenships to persons, 1. When that person's mother was unlawfully present in the United States at the time of said person's birth, or 2. When that person's mother present in the United States was lawful but temporary, and the person's father was not a United States citizen or lawful permanent resident at the time of said person's birth. Now, to define birthright citizenship, it simply means a person who is born in the United States becomes automatically a citizen, regardless of whether their parent is documented or undocumented. And this is in accordance with the 14th Amendment of the US Constitution. Now, we're going to see arguments for and against, as in the people who are for this order and those that are against it. We're going to start with those that argue for this order. Now, one point I've had is that it will discourage birth tourism. What do I mean by this? Birth tourism means when a mother travels to the United States simply to have their baby so that they can automatically become US citizens. And personally, I've seen this mostly with celebrities from other countries whom carry their pregnancy in their home countries, but when it's 2 months to deliver or a month to, then they travel to the United States so that their kid can automatically become a US citizen. So many people are arguing that when this is to be passed and becomes law, then this will discourage such people from doing such things. And you can also say that when there are more people in a country, then there's a strain on the resources. For example, the education, the healthcare, the more the people, the more strenuous it is for its citizens and also the taxpayers. Also, I've had an argument that the Constitution was passed over 150 years ago, and so it doesn't correlate with current issues in regards to immigration. Now, it is said that when it was passed back then, it was passed to cater for the black people who were discriminated against, and so it was put into law so that anyone who was born in the US soil became an automatic citizen regardless of your race. And so people are arguing that it is outdated. Now, we're going to move on to people who are against this bill. I've had an argument that when people are born and become automatic citizens, it promotes a sense of belonging. Now, when there's a sense of belonging, regardless of who your parent is, it promotes a sense of diversity because, as you know, America is a land for everyone. There are so many nationalities that live in America, and so it promotes equal opportunity for everyone. Also, there's an argument that when you end birthright citizenship, it could lead to an increase in undocumented people because then you have to really prove that you have a right to be a US citizen before you are given even a birth certificate. And so it's going to be a long process for people who are born in the United States. Now, does this mean that just because Trump signed it, it is law? No. Birthright citizenship is something that is embedded in the Constitution, and so there's a long process for it to even be changed, which sometimes it has to go to the Supreme Court or a very long process. Now, already there has been some civil and immigrant advocates who have gone to the courts to be able to stop this order, namely ACLU and Make the Road New York. And so I would love to hear in the comment section, what do you think about this matter? Do you support it? Are you against it? Do you think it's a good thing for the United States or not? So let's keep the discussion going in the comment section. I would love to read all of your comments. And until the next time, guys, the Joy Report